There's a tiny moment most men miss, so small it lives between her heartbeat and yours. Miss it, and you miss the truth she will never voice. To most guys, a hug is nothing more than a small courtesy, a greeting, a goodbye, a polite gesture. But from a psychological point of view, a woman's embrace is one of the clearest windows into what she truly feels. The reason so many men end up confused, friend zoned, or replaying a single embrace at 2 a.m. is that they never learn to read what her body is saying before her mouth ever gets permission to speak. I'm speaking as a woman who studies this, someone who knows what women rarely admit aloud. A hug isn't merely physical, it's instinctive, it's coded, and it's deeply revealing. If you miss the meaning in her hands, her arms, the tension or ease in her frame, you will misunderstand everything else she does. Here's the reality most men don't understand. A woman's body often decides how she feels about you before her conscious mind sorts it out. The instant contact is made, her nervous system broadcasts signals your brain never notices unless you've learned to pay attention. The first thing that shows up in that broadcast is safety, not dominance, not flash, comfort. If she presses in chest to chest and holds you with both arms instead of a half hug, that's trust appearing without fanfare. Women don't offer that kind of closeness to men they tolerate, avoid, or merely know. They give it when their body relaxes into you. And notice the breath. If she exhales a long, soft breath while she's clasped to you, that isn't random. It's her nervous system loosening. She feels steadied in your presence. But if she freezes, shortens her inhale, or taps the back as if to end the moment, her body is signaling distance. She's being polite, not vulnerable. That's not cruelty, it's human survival. Women are trained to be warm and accommodating even when they don't feel safe. A deliberate linger, however, is not politeness, it's exposure. She's quietly asking you to notice without spelling things out. Pressure alone, tight or loose, is often the least useful clue. What carries meaning is intention and orientation. How does her body angle toward yours? Where do her hands land? Where does her head rest? Women follow emotional lines when they move. The first instant of contact tells her whether your presence calms or activates her defenses. If her head tilts toward your neck, even for a breath, that's vulnerability. She's letting the soft part of herself show. If her upper body stays angled away, despite arms around you, she's holding a boundary. You feel that off energy, but may not be able to name it. That's why. Hands tell stories men rarely hear. Hands that glide up the back signal, grounding and comfort. Hands that hover low, barely gripping, keep the embrace neutral. The unexpected second squeeze, the one she gives before she withdraws, that's not by accident. It's a flash of feeling she didn't intend to release. Women don't double squeeze men they're indifferent about. That extra pressure is intimacy leaking out when she wasn't ready to let it be seen. Remember, women hug from how safe they feel to surrender for a moment. Not safe in an abstract way, but safe in your presence. You're not being evaluated on your looks, your status, or your words in that moment. You're being measured on how your energy affects her. Do you steady her, or do you disturb her? Do you invite more breath, or do you tighten the air? A hug is a short live-in test of emotional stability. If you are anxious, she feels it. If you are grounded, she relaxes. If you're needy, she pulls back. If you are calm, her body will often follow. Women sense energy before they label attraction. That's why some embraces happen smoothly, because her system already recognizes you as a steady anchor. She steps in fully, arms wrapping naturally, posture softening. That's not a move. It's familiarity her mind hasn't yet named. When a hug feels rushed or incomplete, don't assume she's cold. Her nervous system might still be running the check. A pat on the back instead of a full hold is closure, not connection. A side hug with hips turned away is friendliness disguised as distance. Her body is protecting space she isn't ready to open. There's another truth most men don't hear. The way a woman hugs you can predict the direction of the relationship long before either of you speaks about it. Hugs change as feelings change. If her embraces were once tight and then become light, she's drawing back emotionally. If brief hugs lengthen over time, she's letting herself invest. If her shoulders used to be rigid and now they relax against you, she's learning to trust. That progression matters far more than what a text might say. Sometimes a woman will hug you for the last time while she's deciding whether to stay or step away. That final embrace is heavy. It carries memorizing. She's trying to fix your presence into memory, to learn how you feel on the skin before committing to any conclusion. That hug feels different, loaded, silent, intentional. She's asking herself, can I trust him with what matters? Or am I hoping he becomes that man? That's not romance. It's the private calculus of her heart. So, how should you respond when a woman pulls you in? First, stop running the commentary in your head. Don't immediately translate the feeling into a question. Does she like me? Does this mean something? Instead, feel with her. Notice heat, pressure, placement, breath. A woman's hug is a live transmission of her interior. Meet it with presence. Breathe slow. Let your steadiness match hers. If she softens, correspond. If she stays guarded, respect that boundary. If she squeezes with feeling, don't shrug it off. Hold the space with care. Your breath matters more than your strength. Women mirror the nervous system, and your calm breath alone can cue a release. Invite that by exhaling slowly as you hold her. That rhythm pulls her physiology into sync. Her heart rate slows, her shoulders drop, her guard eases. That's the intimacy you create without a word. Where your hands rest matters too. Keep one hand light but secure on her upper back, strong enough to support, gentle enough not to claim. The other can rest at mid-back, anchoring without wandering. This balance, strength with restraint, signals you know how to hold power responsibly. That's what makes her feel safe rather than possessed. When you let go, be mindful. Don't yank the moment away. Pull back with a slow, steady motion. Hold eye contact for a heartbeat. Not the hungry stare of a man begging for reaction, but the warm look of someone who saw something and values it. That extra beat of connection is the echo that lingers. It's the tiny aftertaste that makes her replay the moment later and wonder why it felt different. Understand this. A hug is not a task to tick off. It's a confession wrapped in silence. Most men walk away thinking nothing happened. Women walk away having felt everything. In that brief contact, her body has said whether she feels attraction, trust, curiosity, or polite distance. And too often men miss the message because they're tuned to words, not to physical nuance. There's another layer. A woman hugs based on how she feels about herself around you. She might be attracted, but if you don't make her feel secure in her own skin, her hug will be hesitant. She may like you, but keep her body angled away, arms low, release the hold quickly. Conversely, she might still be uncertain about her emotions, yet her hug will be open and warm, because being near you makes her feel lighter. Women lean toward people who make them feel more like themselves, softer, confident, feminine. If her hug lingers longer than you expect, that tiny extra second is her nervous system recognizing alignment. She doesn't waste that softness on someone she doesn't value. If she nestles her cheek against your chest, she's listening to your calm. If she squeezes gently before letting go, she's giving you a piece of affection she hasn't voiced. If she smiles and lingers instead of stepping away briskly, that's connection. That's chemistry turning into recognition. But a hug is not an invitation to assume, chase, or pressure. It's an invitation to notice, to show you're present, aware, and different from the men who see the shape of her body but miss her interior. A real, unguarded hug is rare in a world where women are constantly protecting themselves. When she offers it without walls, she's confiding, in the purest sense. If you want to become the kind of man she leans into, cultivate presence, consistency, and emotional maturity. Those are the things that make a woman's nervous system whisper, "Here, I can relax." You don't earn it with charm or flattery. You earn it with steadiness over time. Being a man she can breathe around is the highest form of intimacy you can offer. So I'll ask you this. Be honest in the comments. When was the last time a woman hugged you and you truly felt the meaning of it? Did it bring you closer or leave you confused? Share the moment. If this opened your eyes, like the video, subscribe, and pass it to a man who needs to learn what she was really saying without words. A hug is never trivial to her. It's rarely casual. It's a flash of honesty, a leak of feeling, a map of where her heart sits that day. Listen to it, feel it, respect it. If you do, you'll stop guessing and start knowing. And that, more than anything you can say, is how you move from being noticed to being truly seen.